Okay, morning everybody. Today we're going to look at some typical mistakes with conditionals. People or students find conditionals really tricky, and being honest, natives sometimes mess them up as well because they are quite complicated. But they don't usually say number one. In fact, no native, in my opinion, would say number one. But I'm well aware that so many people learning English as a foreign language say number one, and I'm even convinced that many different languages use this structure, which English doesn't. They use this structure of if, which is a subordinating conjunction. That's very important. If, and then a subordinate clause, and then a comma, and then a main clause, and you can swap them round. Of course, you can say I will pay him the money if I see him, but this is the main problem. If I will. And this is why I tell everybody right from the start that when you're dealing with conditionals, if you say if I would, you're always wrong. And if you say if I will, you're always wrong. Yeah. Now, I know that if I would is possible in one or two situations, and I know that if and will is possible, but it's not possible in a conditional. You can say I don't know if he will come to my party. That's fine, that's 100% correct, but that is not a conditional. That is using if to mean whether. Yeah, I don't know whether he will come to my party. Now, if means whether, in which case it's not a conditional at all. If means whether, sure, you can say if I will, and maybe you can say if I would in some situations. But if is being used for a conditional, I guarantee that if I will, if he will, if they will is always wrong. And I guarantee that if I would is always wrong. Yeah, you might see this form in some old literature. You might, but that doesn't make it any more correct today. It's not correct. So please remember that with first conditional in English, we do not use future in the subordinate clause. We use present in the if clause, in the subordinate clause, and we use future in the main clause. And actually, it's not only first conditional where we do this. It's any future time clause. Now, what's a future time clause? Well, it's a clause which starts with a subordinating conjunction. When, as soon as, if, unless, in case, before, after, until is another one. Yeah, these subordinating conjunctions very often refer to the future. And when they refer to the future, don't use future. Don't use will. Here's number two. Look at the mistake in number two. When I will go on holiday, I will buy you a souvenir. This is wrong. It's got to be when I go on holiday, I will buy you a souvenir, because number two, just like first conditional, it starts with a subordinating conjunction. It's referring to the future, but we don't use will. We don't use future tense when we start with a subordinating conjunction and refer to the future. Yeah, even though you would expect it, and perhaps in your language, we do use future tense after these subordinating conjunctions. And I thought I'd mention as well that you can even see present perfect, in fact you very often do, after when in a future time clause. Now that might be, and that should surprise you, because I tell everybody that if you say, ask or know when